We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are conducting life-changing research that solves the problems of today. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The POMcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the POMcast. Thank you for your patience the end of last week. I had some medical stuff come up that I had to get taken care of that could not be avoided. So again, thank you very much. As a side note, I am completely vaccinated and doing quite well. And in a couple of weeks, hell will be raised. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I am Stephen Willis. I am the host of the POMcast. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll take care of this real quick. On Twitter, at the Stephen Willis or at the Rebel Walk, you can watch the POMcast. You can also watch it at facebook.com/POMcast. We're on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe. That way you'll know we're streaming. And we are on Twitch at Positively Ole Miss. We also have two catch-all accounts, Willis Digital Media. There's a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. You can follow along and listen there. That's for stuff that's Ole Miss and other. Positively Ole Miss is going to be a repository for all things Ole Miss. Huge weekend for us, thank you very much. Even though the POMcast wasn't on at the end of the week, it was a great weekend, and thank you very much for doing it. I'm seeing exponential growth at the moment in the audience, and that is all because of you and the mindset of we, not me. Us together, we can make a change in the way that Ole Miss athletics are covered, and I thank you for jumping on board the ship. We are on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. We're on several minor podcatchers as well, but it would take the whole show to name them. So again, however you're getting the information, thank you very much. I know we're in a lot of places, and that is by design because we want to be where you are already, and you don't have to go to a second location. You don't have to do anything with us except follow Ole Miss Sports, and we're trying to make this as fun as possible for you. If it's not fun, you should just leave. I mean, life's too short to be miserable about anything, and if you are starting to feel a little bit miserable with the way that it is being covered, you should just leave and find something else to do. And we're a repository. That includes us, by the way. If you're not happy with us, you should go as well. We'll give you a refund for your free video product as well. So, Ole Miss dropped two games this weekend to Arkansas. What does that mean? That means they didn't pitch the ball very well. I think they walked 27 or 28 people over Friday and Sunday. 17 walks on Sunday. 2 hit batsmen on Sunday. That's a lot of base runners. That's an average of 2 per inning with an offense that is very good. I mean, Arkansas came in known for their offense to give them free bases on balls. That was always going to be problematic. And Ole Miss did that and dug a huge hole, 11-0 lead. Ole Miss fought back and tied the game up at 14 before Arkansas added a couple runs in the eighth inning, ended up winning the series. But that last rubber match, 18-14. Now everybody's going to talk about this thing, but whenever with the 11.7 in college athletics, it's always going to be difficult, especially in a a non advantage given state. I'll say Mississippi, Alabama's in the same boat, but trying to find pitching in the bullpen and getting that depth. Now it helps that this is a COVID year. So we're above what we'd normally be, but it's still problematic. And the reason I bring that up is Friday night, Gunnar Hoagland really just pitched a gem. I mean, no hit, Arkansas through 5, but then the bullpen got called on in the 6th inning when Gunnar got in a little trouble, and the bullpen just made mistake after mistake after mistake. And they used 5 or 6 guys, I think, that night. I don't have the number directly in front of me, but they used a bunch and used them for the first time. So Arkansas ended up winning that game 7-3. Ole Miss won the second game of the doubleheader. And then the third game of the doubleheader, you start to see a bunch of those guys because Derek Diamond did not have a good start. He lasted a little over an inning. And that already taxed bullpen got called into action against the Arkansas offense. Now, props to Wes Burton. He was very good. It was his only appearance, and your appearance is it's your first appearance of the weekend. That's when you're going to be your sharpest. That's when you're going to do your best. It's hard to go in there time after time after time, as you saw. So a bunch of the same guys that pitched Friday night had to go back out there Sunday. And that led to problems. And I mean, Arkansas scored 18 runs. I mean, it's not a calculus problem here. It just happens. One affects the other, but the team showed a lot of heart, especially offensively, to come back into that game to make it 14-14, and it genuinely looked at that point like Ole Miss was going to keep going, but then you remember that the bullpen is just completely out of gas, and that became problematic for them. Now, let's see. Bring this up real quick. We got a little audio from last night. Peyton Chatagnier and Mike Bianco talking about the game.
It certainly wasn't my intention, and that doesn't happen much. I can't remember. I'm sure Alex has put out when's the last time I got ejected from a game, but I think it's been a long time. So certainly not the intention, and you hope that your value is in the dugout, not in the dugout. And I know it's happened in professional baseball, and people think that's part of it. But with all that being said, that certainly wasn't the intention. My frustration and lost my composure, and I get ejected from the game. But I will say that I'm proud of them. You're down 11-0, and we it didn't look good. And I think it's human nature a lot of times to kind of concede mentally, and kind of go through the motions, and they didn't do that. Our guys competed for 9 innings, and for that I'm proud. But I will say, and I heard Peyton, I will say, you don't get any trophies for just continue to compete and play hard. I'm proud that we did that. I think it was a tough situation on Sunday. We got 10,000 people in the stands. They came to see us play, and our guys played, and continued to play hard. Unfortunately, we were just too bad on the mound, to give ourselves a chance to win the game.
To be honest, it was about the same. They scored 11 real early. We knew we had a lot of game left to come back and win. And then obviously once we tied it up, we thought we were going to keep running with it. We had a lot of energy. I was proud of everybody. I mean, we fought hard, and I know that doesn't mean much when you lose, but proud of everybody.
I think the same as everybody. We didn't throw enough balls into the strike zone. You walk 17 guys and hit 2. I mean, that's 19 base runners. That's over 2 an inning. You're just not going to keep another team scoring, let alone a really good offense like Arkansas. And so I can't remember a day. I'm sure, again, Alex and, the people look in the archives, but I can't remember a day, that we were that bad on the mound. We've given up runs and hits and stuff like that and home runs. But today it was the walks. We just didn't have it on the mound, and really in game one as well. I mean, so in 2 games, game one, I think we walked 9. In game 3, we walked 17. I mean, it's 27, and from a team that's uncharacteristic. I mean, we if you look at us through whatever 30 games or whatever it is, we throw the ball into the strike zone, for the most part, and we're one of the best teams in the conference doing that, and we strike out a lot of people as well. So our strikeout to walk's really good. This weekend it wasn't, and that's one of the reasons that we lost 2 games, and it wasn't a good weekend for us.
Yes, it was not a good weekend on the mound for Ole Miss. Arkansas wins the series 2-1. This is their first minus on the plus-minus scale. We'll call it the POMcast plus-minus scale. They are now currently +2 on the season. If you win 2 games in Starkville, all of a sudden you're +3 again, and a special type season is on the table. If only one of these series in the first half of SEC play, you get a minus number, you're setting yourself up pretty well to have a kind of a special season. Now, we go down to Duty Noble this weekend against Mississippi State. It should be a fun series. Gunnar Hoagland on Friday, Saturday, Doug Nikhazy, Sunday, Dustin Diamond. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a chance to kind of right the ship a little bit. It's a chance to make it the way you expect it to be. It's still a good baseball team. They had a bad stretch on the mound, and they still were in a position to where they fought back and basically gave themselves a chance when they were down 11-0 in the 3rd inning, and everything looked bleak. I made a tweet during the game early on when it was 11-0. It's like, you ever feel like it's just not your day? And then that's kind of a situation that they were in, but they fought back. They got a big inning to make it like 11-5, and it became a little bit of a back and forth, and Ole Miss started chipping away. And then they played it 4-5 in the 8th, and you're just like, or the 7th, and you're like, whoa, this could happen. And it just didn't for whatever reason. So, again, Ole Miss, Mississippi State this weekend. Ole Miss versus Austin Peay tomorrow night. You can follow that. We're not really doing series reaction videos on those, but that is, something in the future. And we're going to talk in the second part of the show after the basketball piece that we're about to do about plans for the Positively and Ole Miss channel, plans for the POMcast, and what we're looking to do in the future. This is even before football. We haven't even factored in football into the equation at this point. It's right now it's all baseball. We're in recruiting, but we will absolutely see. We're going to take a short break. Just a short break. When we come back, we will get into the basketball transfer, Ty Fagan, and we'll tell you what's going on. All right, stick around.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese. We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop. Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
All right, welcome back to the POMcast. I am your host, Stephen Willis. Thank you very much for joining us and give us an opportunity to do this. Our goal is to make Ole Miss athletics fun again. There was a stretch when it was not, and that's what we are trying to do. We have a lot of toys that are going up on the POMcast. We want to be done by the end of this month, which is like 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from our goal to be up and running and ready to go. And I mean, as you can see, we're already a long way down that road. But there's little things that we are looking to improve. And, you know, you see things like the series reaction going over on the podcast channel that we're going to do with all the Rebel Walk videos that we do on Positively Ole Miss. That's eventually the plan for that. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Second of all, after I had to go through all the medical stuff and everything, I know I didn't get to, brief you, but Ole Miss signed Ty Fagan from Georgia, a combo guard. That's really quite an interesting player for this offense. Now, one thing that kind of worries me a little bit is the 27% from three that he shot. But as you can see, he's very good around the basket. He might be more of a Luis Rodriguez type player. I mean, you can see it happening. And he might be a plus Luis Rodriguez player. I do not know. I do like him calling the three before the shot. We are absolutely dealing with a high confidence level player, so he's going to be up and down depending on his confidence level. But I mean, he really plays an extreme game. I want to see how he fits, and it might be a situation where they're not worried about shot makers because Deshaun Ruffin and Grant Slatton and James White coming in. They're counting on from them. So it's going to be interesting to see. But this is another player that fills that role. There's just a toughness about him in the way he plays the game. And now I don't want to bring it up because Terrence Davis is a big player playing in the NBA, but I mean there's a little bit of that same stuff. You can see that with Elrod, that type of player. But we'll have to see what he looks like when he gets to Oxford. And can he develop the outside part of his game? Now, 27%. Can he get that to 35? If he gets to 35, that Devontae Schuler level shooter, you've got something. That'll play. That'll work. But he's a really good player. Is the point. Really looking forward to him getting on campus and doing what he does. So Ty Fagan transferred to Ole Miss from Georgia. I think that joins Nasir Brooks, and I don't know if any other players are in the pipeline. We were told about 3 players, and we got the flip from Louisville and the 2 transfers, so that would be 3. So we'll see if there's any more that they can add really before the end of the year, because it's coming up. We're about a month away from graduation and moving on to the next level of school, moving into the summer session. So, here in about a month, we're going to see the rest of the Ole Miss signing class showing up. The ones that didn't enroll mid-year, they're going to show up and they're going to start going through summer workouts. And honestly, summer workouts is where team building begins. It's a bonding experience where you go through something that's really terrible, for lack of a better word, and it brings them closer together. But Ole Miss does it a little bit differently, and they do a lot of work outside. So it'll be interesting to see. You've seen a lot of games from players just on appearance this offseason. It'll be nice to see them with a full year off-season program in their system. And, players like Mark Britt, from that first class that didn't really hit the field last year, it's a chance for him to make a jump as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I'm really excited about where this football team is sitting. All right. Now, the moment y'all have all been waiting for. I'm just kidding. No, the Positively Ole Miss channel this week, it should be a pretty busy week. We're going to do a POMcast every day like we always do. We are going to have a special guest this week. We are going to do the first recruiting show this week, RW Recruiting with Leanne Herring. That'll air this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, we're doing a preview show about the Ole Miss Mississippi State series. It will not be Chris Muller. It'll be a different person. I'll let that be a surprise to you as well. But he's extremely knowledgeable about baseball, and I mean, we are absolutely just cornering the market on baseball knowledge at this point. It's fantastic. And of course, at the end of the Ole Miss State series, we're going to have a series reaction with Chris. All those videos are going to be available for wherever you watch video, and we're going to put it on the podcast channel so you can just listen to it. So theoretically, you'll be able to just hit play. Our videos are short enough to the point. And whenever I worked in TV, we did several studies. And in those studies, it talked about how the optimum viewing length for content was 20 to 30 minutes. So that's the reason we don't want to go overly long with 20 to 30 minute video, or hour and a half and all that stuff, because you can't watch it. Most of the time, you either put it on in your car while you're running. All those things are 30-minute exercises, 30-minute things. And if you make it longer, it's content that people just aren't watching. They're not consuming at all. It's like a wasted half hour for you. And they're not going to go backwards whenever a new show comes out. So it's gone forever. So that's the reason we keep our shows short at about the 30-minute max level. And we'll do our reaction shows at 10 to 15 minutes. We'll do our preview shows at 10 to 15 minutes, our recruiting shows at 10 to 15 minutes, because you can watch it, consume it, and get on about your day. That's the whole point of that. But we're trying to make Ole Miss athletics fun. We're trying to make it accessible to you, and we don't want to put too much filler in there to where we start acting like weathermen. That is the goal. So, also today, just to let everybody know, I left my job today to do this full time. I guess that should tell you how great everything's going. But you can expect me to have the time to grow this exponentially and do the things that I need to do. So I'm really excited about that as well. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes back today because I'm just a heck of a guy. But, again, follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, like on Facebook. That's your homework for today. If you do that and hit the bell and everything, you'll be notified whenever it comes on. If you have any questions, hit us up in tomorrow's show in the chat, and we will try to get that answered. We didn't put the chat up on the side because we're just waiting on it because we have multiple ways that we can skin a cat. So I'm really excited, really fired up about you guys, and thank you very much for all that you do. We will see you tomorrow. Hotty toddy.